This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Does God really own us? Reddit's GayChristians community serves as a vital platform where individuals navigating the intricate intersection of faith and sexuality can gather to share, explore, and discuss topics that resonate with their unique experiences. Recently, the community talked about ownership when it comes to God. The original post said, "Does God really own us?" And the poster, the contributor continued, "I have a problem with thinking that God owns me or that I don't own my soul. I'm fine," they say, "with being told that I don't own my body and that I'm just borrowing it, but I think I own my soul," end quote. The question not only shares the struggle of this queer account holder, but also stands as an example of the dilemma many LGBTQ plus youth and adults face. As a part of the queer community's church, we are the progressive queer church. We can tell you one thing: God embraces all of us. It is in God that we all live and move and have our being. And God embraces us with the same love and joy. Sunshine Cathedral believes in a loving and inclusive God who respects the autonomy of individuals. In our understanding, the essence of spirituality lies in the freedom to explore one's own connection with the divine, allowing for a diverse range of beliefs and expressions. At Sunshine Cathedral, we celebrate the idea that God's love is all-inclusive and unconditional, and our souls are expressions of divine love, free to navigate their own paths with authenticity and self-determination. The huge number of responses given to the original post express the same views. This is so complex.
Yeah.
This is because there's a lot of cultural stuff here, a lot of Western thinking that wouldn't be necessarily embraced in the East, a lot of 21st century thinking that was different in the 20th century. There's just a lot of overlapping things here. I shuddered. I stiffened up at the idea, I don't own my body.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't even prove there's a soul, but check it out. Here is a body. I'm reasonably sure that this is a thing, and it's mine. I should have autonomy over this. So I think that's part of the internalized homophobia, and which is the child of misogyny, that we don't want to take ownership. And I get it. Like it's on loan because it doesn't last forever. After 80, 90, 100. Maybe 120, I take vitamins. But after a while, it's over. Like you got to cash it in. There's a shelf life. So in that way, it's on loan. But I signed the lease. Until it's up, it's all mine. You know what I mean? And so I want people to own their body, because this idea that we don't own our bodies is how Roe v. Wade gets overturned.
Yep.
And how black bodies get abused by people in power, and how queer bodies are demonized when they touch and when they express themselves publicly, maybe even in drag. And so this idea that our bodies aren't our own, I want to push against that gently. I want to push against that. And this idea that I own my soul, yes, because what is the soul? And that's where we get into philosophical debate and opinion and that sort of thing. Some people, like if I were Buddhist, I wouldn't even think there is an individual soul. I would think there's just this life that we share, and it individuates and incarnates, but there's just this one essence that we all share. That's not, we don't have individual souls. Well, so there's that. In Jewish thought, I have a soul, but it isn't mine. When I die, the people who remember me are then in charge of my soul. They're keeping it going in their memories. And so it's my loved one. So my soul actually belongs to the people I surround myself with, because they're the ones who are going to keep it going when I'm gone. So there's all these different views about soul. So if you want to think you own your soul, fine. Because what you're saying is that it isn't God's. It's the God owns your soul is just like the government owns your body. That somehow there is something that I have no agency. I can't even contribute to, and that we do push back against that. So whereas the concept of soul is very complex, and we don't even all agree about what it is, whatever it is, we have to have a vote in it, or that's just oppression. So I do like the idea that I think of God as my soul more than as my soul belonging to God. God as the ultimate reality, as the ground of being, as the one thing that individuates each of us. So God is the part of me that identifies as a soul, but that's not the same as God being over there, my soul being over here, and God has the receipt. That's just another way of making us feel as if we're owned, as if we're not our own persons, as if we don't have agency.
Right. There's so many ways that I think churches and the various denominations, the various groups of churches and faith traditions have told us that maybe we don't own our bodies, maybe we don't own our souls. And it's really hard, I think, for a lot of folks. It was hard for me as well to kind of break that down, to say, you know what, I truly have, hopefully, agency over my body, though being a woman here in the United States, sometimes not. Sometimes not. And then what does it mean to have agency or own your own soul? And what I've come to discover, and I'm speaking for myself only, is that my soul is my energy. It's my life energy. I don't know if it is God or love or whatever, but to me it's just my life energy. And the goodness and the love and the care that I can manifest and create, that's my soul. And yes, I own that. I have agency over that. That's who I am. And to break down those tapes, to get away from that, step away from those descriptions or whatever, things that we have been taught over the years, that's a process. That's a journey, but really worth it. So that's something we can really do a deep dive on. What is our soul? What does it mean to have a soul? And then how do we own that?
You know, I was sitting here thinking about an episode of Captain Picard in the Borg. And so much of politics and nations today, I believe, in religion, want us to become the Borg. One person telling everybody what they are and what they are not. And we are not a Borg society. You know, we have been created in our own uniqueness. We own who we are. And a part of that for me is like, all these things may be against me, but I am who I am. And the joy of that is knowing that no one can really ever take that away from me. We stand upon years and centuries of those who've gone before us that have fought and will continue to fight the oppressors of the world. And I think we are now faced more than ever with another moment in history where we must stand up and face whatever oppressors are trying to do to our society, especially when you come down to our bodies or trying to tell us how our soul are or aren't connected. Get a life. You know, the uniqueness of who I am cannot be controlled by any one body.
That's right.
And, you know, we're not a Borg society. You cannot enslave the soul. You cannot be that collective mind that tells the soul how to feel, how to act, and how to respond. And also as the body. It's like we're too individualized for that. And anyone who thinks otherwise, that we can be conformative to a one way of thinking, take another look in the mirror.
Resistance is futile. Really? Hold my beer. Hold mother's purse. I'll show you some resistance.
Next up, we are excited to tell you about our next adventure with our Global Fellowship. This year, we'll be going to where the hills are alive as we explore Austria and Alpine Europe for Gay Oktoberfest. Space is extremely limited, so make sure to go to happeningout.travel/sunshine to reserve your space now.
That's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us.
We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss the issues important to our LGBTQ+ community.